Serial Predators. That's the name of my new novel. This is the cover. It's a horror story by R.S. Smith. Kara and her two best friends had just graduated from high school. They'd grown up in a conservative church community, and as they head toward the city for some adventure, they're naive and vulnerable to the wicked ways of the world. It doesn't take long until they're abducted by a family of sexual predators. Obese mama, elderly retarded papa, hefty handsome Zeke, and druggy Dan. They become sex slaves. They live in an old, haunted-looking house. It's something like you might see on Halloween. It's about 150 years old. In the past, there had been a lighthouse there. There was a beacon for the passing ships, and it's called Beacon Hill. In the old days, the place had been a boarding house. Another time, it had been a bordello. Girls are kept in the basement when they're not busy being sex slaves or tortured or threatened. They're cleaning. They make them maids. Later they decide that they're going to market them to the truckers that go through their neighborhood diner. Word gets out, pretty soon the bikers start coming around. Of course the girls get nothing. Mama and Papa and the boys are making lots of cash. This goes on for a few years. Later, Mama gets restless. She wants some fresh meat. Before she kidnapped the girls, they had once had honeymooners. It had been a lot of fun. Now they're permanent residents in the lot across the street. Yeah, Mama, not just a sexual predator, she's also a psychopathic serial killer. Oh, poor Kara. She learns this early on and does what she can to win Mama over so that she can ensure the survival of herself and her friends. She sends the boys out to get them some newlyweds. They take the car and they eventually come across a pair that's driving up the street with a just married sign in the back window, towing all those rattling cans behind the car. They rear end the car. The young couple gets out. They've been saving themselves for this night. They too have just gotten out of high school. When they get out to exchange insurance information, Zeke and Dan grab. Pretty soon, they too are at the Beacon, down in the dank, dark basement with the girls. They're the new sex slaves. Kara and the bride bond. They get an intimate relationship over the next few months. Decided they fantasize about a rescue. One day they'll be rescued, and if they ever get separated, they want to rendezvous on the anniversary of their special time together. They decide to go to the space needle. Clear across the country. Neither one of them's ever been on a plane or west of the Mississippi. As luck would have it, they get rescued. The bride and the groom don't want to face the court testifying about all the atrocities. They run away. Kara and her friends get psychiatric therapy. It doesn't work on Kara. Poor Kara, she's psychologically damaged, traumatized. She needs a different kind of therapy. She says goodbye to family and friends and hits the road. Fills up her backpack, sticks a gun in it, necessities, and hitches her way ending up in the Bronx. There's also a young man named Jimmy who's just stolen a couple $100 and police are in pursuit. He hides on a charter bus. They discover him in the morning and they throw him out. He doesn't know where he is. Kara's not even sure where she is. He runs into her in an auto body shop. He says, "Is this the Bronx?" She says, "I don't know." "What do you mean you don't know?" "I mean, I'm not sure." It's a little bit like an Abbott and Costello dialect, but pretty soon things evolve into the more serious stuff. They end up in a hotel room. There's a maid named Chrissy. When Kara goes out for a morning jog, she kidnaps the maid. It's early in the morning, no one else is really around. She's there cleaning rooms as a student before class. Jimmy and Kara have their way with the young lady. Kara has threatened that if she doesn't give her an orgasm, she's going to kill her. You know, no orgasm. She puts a pillow over her head, pop, pop. Poor Christy. Killing number one. Kara notices an RV parked out front of the next hotel room. She decides to use the passkey and go over and kidnap the couple. She'd seen them out the night before and thought they were kind of good looking when she'd gone to the ice machine. They kidnap the couple, take the RV, and they hit the road. They stop at a few ATMs and have them drain the maximum amount of cash. She finds a pistol on the RV, her young wife's pistol, and they use it in a naughty way. Pretty soon there's a killing. Kara's bipolar. She's not taking her meds. She flips out. You have to read the book to find out who dies and how. It's pretty intense. After that, there's a series of killings. One of them involves a family of militia members up in the Colorado foothills. Kara has a manipulative personality. She convinces some of her victims to kill four in order to survive. She lets some go, she kills some. Depends on the chemistry between them. She gets a couple of them to follow her into the militia household. Well, there's about 20 pages, more or less, of intense experiences and more killings. One of the girls looks like Kara, so she uses her driver's license and takes her SUV. The whole family ends up killed. She also acquires a couple of assault rifles and a sizable amount of cash. She's venturing along the road. Pretty soon she realizes a year has passed. Her death toll is somewhere in the double digits now. 10, 11, the teens maybe. She's not keeping count. She remembers she's supposed to rendezvous with her bride friend Harper. She releases her latest victims and hits the road for Seattle. There's a great website I found for the Space Needle that takes you all the way up to 520-foot structure in a windowed elevator, and you can see all the things that you see from the tower, including Mount Rainier, 54 miles away. You can Google it. SeattleSpaceNeedle.com. I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, she waits all day. She goes out on the deck, observation deck. No Harper. Kara waits all day. Why would Harper even show up? Kara didn't mean to her. Eventually, they reconnect. She shows up, almost as fun as when our movies have done it on the top of the Empire State Building, but it's better. They end up hitting the road and heading back east again. They consolidate their stuff into the car that Harper brought. Kara dumps a stolen SUV and they head out. It's kind of like a Thelma and Louise. Kara is the polar opposite of Harper. Harper is amazed when she learns about all the killings. Harper is more of a goody two-shoes type and persuades Kara that she has to balance her karma with some good deeds. Alright, they're in a pub somewhere in the Northwest. I'm thinking of Lake Tahoe as I read the descriptions. They find a girl being stalked. Kara knows all about stalking. She stalked a lot of victims herself before kidnapping them. They stake out the bar with a six-pack out in their car, and eventually they see the girl come out and get kidnapped. Two fellas grab her in the van and take off. The girls follow in hot pursuit. They end up out in the woods in the middle of nowhere, just a little bit of moonlight. Turn off their headlights so that they wouldn't be seen, and they follow the van into a dark area. What are we going to do? Well, I've got assault rifles in the trunk. Let's get them out. How do you use them? I don't know. They open up the trunk and they start playing around with the rifles. They find a clip and they figure out how to load it. They use a flashlight to find the knobs, and they discover there's a thermal scope. Well, that's pretty cool. They look into the van and they can see one of the guys in the driver's seat. They take their time and set it up. Kara fires. The guy's dead. And they're Dumb and Dumber in the van. The guy is in the back with the girl. He comes up to the front, see what's going on. He didn't hear anything. The girls are far enough away. The guys don't hear that. He's too distracted. just a bullet hole in the window. Kara takes another shot, maybe two. Bang! 2 more kills for Kara. They're wild ones, though. They go down to rescue the girl, expecting to find her naked, raped. No, she's dressed. It's not a kidnapping for a rape, it's a kidnapping for a ransom. Her name is Cindy Cicero. She's the niece of the infamous Charles Cicero. He's the head mob crime lord in Manhattan, in charge of all 5 boroughs. He's the man who makes made men. The girls bond, the 3 of them. The grateful godfather dispatches his $25 million Learjet to pick them up. It just so happens they have a private airfield hidden nearby for nefarious activities. Neither girl's ever been on a plane before. It lands in an empty field. As it's coming in, they use remote control to activate landing lights. The girls head off to Manhattan for more adventures. Well, I don't want to tell you too much. You may think you already heard enough of the story, you don't want to read it, but if Da Vinci had told you he painted Mona Lisa, a woman with a smile, would you say, I don't need to see it now, I know what it is? Creative art doesn't work that way. You've got to experience it. So experience this story. It's available on Kindle. It's also in paperback on Amazon.com. For more information on my stories, go to willfulwomen.info. This is, due to sex and violence, it's restricted to people age 18 and over.